This map shows the scale of the Indian subcontinent, a landmass fractured into thousands of distinct cultural zones and hundreds of different languages. Logically, maintaining a unified cultural identity across these distances without modern transportation or digital communication should be impossible. Yet the subcontinent maintains a cohesive cultural history. It was not forged by political borders, but by a shared system of sacredness. To understand how this population survived as a single cultural unit, you have to view geography as a living architecture of movement. The most basic unit of this system is the sacred point, a localized shrine or relic that grounds a community's spiritual focus. You see these anchor points in faiths that originated outside India, like the Dargah Sharif in Ajmer, which serves as a massive congregational point for followers of Islam. The Velankani Church in Tamil Nadu draws millions of Christians to its specific coordinates on the coast. Native-born traditions use these points to mark historical events, such as the Mahabodhi Stupa in Bihar, where tradition says the Buddha attained enlightenment. In Sikhism, takhts serve as seats of spiritual authority, including the Akal Takht at the Golden Temple in Amritsar. These are powerful destinations. But a landscape populated only by isolated, static points of worship cannot bind an entire continent together. In the Indian tradition, sacredness is generated by the physical journey required to reach the destination. This practice is the tīrtha yatra, or pilgrimage. Its root word, tīrtha, literally translates to a place where one can cross a river. Symbolically, the tīrtha represents the crossing from ordinary worldly survival into a higher spiritual life. This redefines the map. The lines connecting the pilgrims to the shrines are as critical to the culture as the shrines themselves. For 3,000 years, Indians traversed this land on foot. They crossed thousands of miles of hostile terrain without modern logistics. Historical accounts trace specific routes, like a group of villagers walking from Rameshwaram in the deep south, all the way to Haridwar in the north. This specific geographic crossing required 3 uninterrupted months of travel. Pilgrims carried their own supplies, atta, ghee, and sugar, in earthen pots strapped to their backs for the entire journey. To survive, these travelers had to navigate unfamiliar language zones and rely on the hospitality of strangers across different cultures. Figures like Guru Nanak modeled this behavior, walking epic routes to Haridwar, Prayag, and even Mecca. This relentless physical necessity established trade and microcultural exchanges across borders that would otherwise remain closed. Take that 3-month walk and multiply it by millions of people from various faiths, moving simultaneously over 3 millennia. The cumulative effect is an overlapping web of movement that effectively eliminated isolation for almost any community on the landmass. These routes directly connected the fractured cultural and linguistic zones that geographical distance usually keeps separate. The continuous flow of people across the landscape integrated the subcontinent into a single cultural network. In 1961, Jawaharlal Nehru observed this ancient mechanism of unity. He noted that the flow of people from the snowy Himalayas in the north to Kanyakumari in the south forged the feeling of a single culture. The Bhagavata Purana describes the rivers, seas, and mountains as organs of a supreme body, a literal description of the land as a living, unified whole.